Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Monday, October 24th meeting of the Village Board of Trustees. And will everybody please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I see our clerk is down there. Will you please call the roll?
Trustee Giordano.
Present.
Trustee Quigley.
Present.
Trustee Luisi.
Present.
Trustee Hayes. Present. Mayor Eklund.
Present. Tonight we have a couple of presentations. Our first one is a presentation from the Eastchester Communities That Cares, and this is regarding Red Ribbon Week. And we have tonight with us Jay Genova and Abby, and you're going to make a special presentation for us.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Eklund, members of the Tuckahoe Village Board of Trustees, and members of the Tuckahoe community. My name is Jay Genova, and I'm the Project Director of Eastchester Communities That Care. And we are a community-based substance abuse prevention coalition. And we work together with our community parents, leaders, and youth and key leaders to address what we believe is the #1 issue facing youth, and that's teen substance abuse. What we know is that in our country, underage drinking and drug use will take the lives of more than 5,000 youth each year. We also know from local statistics that Westchester youth have a greater propensity to use alcohol and other drugs than their counterparts across the nation and even across the state. We also know that in our country and locally that prescription drug use is on the rise across our country. And so our coalition works to prevent these issues, and we do that by trying to affect the conditions in a community that actually influence substance use. And some of what we've done recently is we've been involved with some legislative initiatives on the state level to try to get high alcohol content beverages out of grocery stores and into liquor stores. We've also provided some free training for the business owners that sell alcohol to better ID underage youth and to have a better sense of identifying third-party sales so that they can help reduce the availability of alcohol. But most importantly, and what we're probably most proud of, is the work that we do with our youth. And it is part of our core mission to promote positive youth development. And so I'm going to turn the microphone over to Miss Abby Orlando, and she's going to tell you a little bit about why we're here this evening and some of the work of our youth group. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Eklund and members of the Tuckahoe Village Board. My name is Abby Orlando, and I'm in the 11th grade at Eastchester High School. I'm a member of Eastchester Communities That Cares Community Board and the Empowered Youth Group. It is the mission of the Empowered Youth Group to be a visible group of teens who serve as alcohol and drug-free role models, and to use this group to promote healthy lifestyles. This evening, I would like to inform you about an initiative that Empower leads each year, Red Ribbon Week. Red Ribbon Week is the oldest and largest drug prevention campaign in the country and is celebrated each year during the last week of October. Red Ribbon Week commemorates the ultimate sacrifice made by DEA Special Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena, who died in 1985 at the hands of drug traffickers in Mexico. By wearing a red ribbon, Americans pay homage to Special Agent Camarena and demonstrate their support for a healthy drug-free lifestyle. Red ribbons also help teens visually see others who have chosen not to use drugs, and it is vital that our teens in our community know that they are not alone in choosing a drug-free lifestyle. I invite you, the members of the Tuckahoe Village Board, to participate in Red Ribbon Week by wearing these ribbons that we have made for you. We also ask you to consider hanging these large outdoor ribbons in front of Village Hall to show the community your support for this important endeavor. Being that Red Ribbon Week began as a law enforcement initiative, we invite Chief Costanzo and the members of the Tuckahoe Village to also participate. Finally, we would like to thank Mr. David Pope for graciously hosting this meeting this evening in this historical building, which is now the Generoso Pope Foundation. Mr. Pope, we would like to present you with red ribbons for your staff and for your building's entranceway.
have some red ribbons that some of our middle school students made for you, as Abby mentioned, some outdoor ribbons. If you wish, you can hang these on the doors of the Village Hall and perhaps the police department. I'm not going to open them, but I'll leave them with you as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And finally, Red Ribbon Week will culminate this Saturday, October 29th, and our Community Coalition is sponsoring, in collaboration with the Tuckahoe Village Government and the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Prescription Drug Take-Back Initiative. That'll be held this Saturday, October 29th, at the Tuckahoe Community Center. And community residents are invited to take a look at their medicine cabinets and use it as an opportunity to clean out any unwanted or unneeded prescription medication. They can drop it off at the community center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., no questions asked. Prescription drug take-back initiatives do three things. First, and obviously, they help to reduce the availability of prescription medication available to teens. Second, they help to prevent medication errors potentially made by seniors who often have medications changed and keep medications in their home. And lastly, a prescription drug take-back is good for the environment because proper disposal helps to prevent medications from entering the water supply. So it's really a win-win-win all around. So we invite the members of the Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Bronxville communities to take a few minutes and drop it off on Saturday. Again, just drop it off, no questions asked. We very much thank you for the time that you've given us here this evening and the support that you've offered. Thank you.
Great.
Great evening.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. We appreciate that. We're actually very pleased to partner with you on this, and we hope it's a success this weekend in the community center.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay.
The next presentation we have tonight is specifically for the reason why we are all sitting here in this building tonight. The building that we are in, for the people who are actually watching this building is the former home of village government. We are actually tonight broadcasting from the Generoso Pope Foundation building, which is the old Village Hall building. I have a picture that I'm showing here. And it's quite a pleasure for us to be here. This building has a tremendous amount of significance for us here in village government, as well as all the residents in the village. The old Village Hall building, the old Village Hall business was conducted in this building from the early 1900s. This building housed the village offices, all of the offices of the village of Tuckahoe, except for the Department of Public Works, which has always been down on Marbledale Road. At one point in time, the Tuckahoe Library was in this building, and our police department was in this building. I know there was the green lights out in front of the building. I've seen some photos of that. And many years ago, this building was sold to a business called Campus Productions, who later then sold it to the Romano Funeral Home. A lot of people of our generation remember this building as a funeral home for a short period of time. And they then sold it to the Generoso Pope Foundation. So we're pleased to be here, and I've asked tonight our former Mayor, Phil White, to come on up and just say a few words about this very historic building. Our former Mayor White is also a very important member of our historical society, so he can give us a great historical perspective of this building.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and members of the board. It's really great to be back here in what was known as the Village Hall. As you mentioned, it's 100 years old this year. It began in 1911, and it ceased being the Village Hall in 1983, when we bought the old school. And people coming into this building and seeing how beautiful it is want to know why we left the building. Of course, David Pope did a fantastic job in redoing the building. And the reason why this building was sold and we ended up in the school was that by a mandate that all buildings had to have handicap access. And this building was on 5 different floors. Very tough getting a elevator in, but I see David did manage it some way. He actually eliminated one of the floors and added some up where the attic was. You mentioned a number of different groups that were in here. You forgot to mention the town hall was here too. This was the center of the town. Anything that happened in the town of Eastchester emanated from here. Right after World War II, of course, they put the old clubhouse up at the Oak Ridge Golf Course. But prior to that, they bought a school up there in the north end for a temporary town hall, and then moved down to the Oak Ridge Golf Course, the clubhouse. In addition to that, we had a civil service group here. The village clerk's office was back there. They operated with a bookkeeper, a village clerk, and an assistant, and I guess that was about it, and a part-time building inspector. We also had down in the basement of the building, underneath where the library is now and which was the police headquarters, we have civil defense supplies. That group was headed up by Dr. Ray Garrett. And those were the days when they were worried about one of our enemies dropping an atom bomb or something, and you had little kids had to go underneath the desk. I don't know what good that would have done, but that's what it was all about. Incidentally, we do have a lot of emergency supplies that I was able to get through the Red Cross, and they're stationed now up at Tuckahoe High School. So if ever there's a need, those supplies are ready. Now, you may think that this was the first village hall. That is not so. This was the first village hall. The clerk's office was on this side, and the police department on the other side. My, how government has grown. Now, a couple of words about why it was in this position. As you know, we have the bridge going across the railroad. And before this building could be built and the whole square redone, we had to lift up the area, dig down a little bit, about 6 feet, to accommodate the tracks, and I don't know, 10, 15 feet we had to build up above here. And that whole row of stores that are there now were right there where the parking lot is. So those were all clapboard buildings. They got rid of those and built masonry type buildings on the other side. So I'm very pleased to be here. I'm happy to ask any questions. I must mention that my wife and I do get involved with the history of the village. We meet usually on Wednesday mornings, and we have some volunteers, mostly seniors. They're the ones that enjoy doing the history work, I guess, more than the young people. That leaves you out.
Mayor, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You served in this building here?
Yeah.
You did. You want to tell us a little bit about
Sure.
it?
Well, actually before, I was a trustee in 1971, mayor in 1975 until 1983, and that was, I think, that was about the year, actually about a year before 83 that we moved it over to the school.
So your time was in this building. Where was your office located?
I thought
in this
you never
building?
asked. This office right out there, I guess, David, that's the one you're using now? But you would never recognize the way it was with tile, and he had to rip everything out. I mean, he just beautified this building. If we as a village spent that kind of money to improve this building, we've been exported somewhere. David, you did a beautiful job. Really proud of the work that you did. And not only that, he's very sincere in helping the community. A lot of things you don't know about, but there's a little fireboat out there in the Hudson by Yonkers, and you know the area. That man is responsible for it. And the work that he's done with the schools, the work with the police, those are his two loves, the school and the police department. I couldn't get him to love the trustees and the mayor.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. It was very kind of you to come here tonight and give us your historical perspective.
Appreciate it. I'll leave this with you. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call up David Pope and ask him if he'd like to say a few words about what he's done. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here, David.
No, that's okay.
We're so happy that we're here tonight in your home. So if you want to talk a little bit about the restoration work you did to this building and
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the board for having their meeting here. The building is in its anniversary year of being here 100 years, and hopefully it will be here another 100 years. The renovation And it turned from a renovation, actually. I started, this was over 8 years ago, we started renovating the building, and then everyone from the village, I don't know, I guess it's just the way the village is, being a family, they just walked in the building. And then they started telling me about all different things that went on in the building. This is where the library was, this is where, you know, all these different things. And it turned from a renovation to a restoration. They were saying, oh, you have to fix this, you have to fix that. There's leaks up in the attic, and they're all dated, and they're all signed. And we left all that stuff, but going up to the mayor's office, actually, there's a piece of the railing, wood railing, that whoever patched it back then was definitely not a woodworker by any means. And I was going to rip that out and have it redone. And actually, an old timer came in and said, no, no, no. And he remembered who repaired it. And he was telling me a whole story about how they were laughing because it was really off center and it wasn't even close to what it was. And we actually left it. So there was a lot of things like that that we tried to maintain. The village field, the village hall field. We had to renovate it for our purposes, but we tried to maintain the best that we could. And, you know, restore it so that the village is proud. Now, you'll see when in the center rotunda, there's a skylight and there's stained glass outside in the center hall. And there was a big centerpiece made out of glass and wood that's probably about 10 to 12 feet in diameter. And I have that in storage, and I would be more than happy to pass that on to the village. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I'd be more than happy to give it
I
to you.
remember when you were doing the restoration work here, we talked about that, and we talked about, well, it would maybe be nice to actually set it in a wall or someplace, but I don't know, it's pretty
I don't know
big.
how you're going to get
It was
in.
big.
I mean, we had to cut a hole in the roof to get it
Yeah.
out, so, but we'd be more than happy to.
I didn't know you still had it stored.
Oh, well, I still have it. We saved everything. And when you walk through, even the urns on the staircases, when I bought the building, it was in disarray. There was one urn left, and I had to have that casted and recasted to bring back, you know, the staircase. And then we had to buy a special iron bending machine to make the special twists that were in the railings to, you know, restore the rest of the railings. So there was a lot that went into restoring the building. But once again, we did it not only for us, we did it for the public. And I think, you know, seeing everyone come in, they were extremely happy. And one funny story was, this is going back probably 8 years, you guys never took, I guess, credit cards or checks for parking tickets, right? Going way, way back?
That's true.
So needless to say, in the slot of the door, there used to be like 20 parking tickets every day. People just used to put parking tickets, so we delivered them back home. That was amusing. But needless to say, you know, my family's very happy to be in the village. We do a lot for the village, we do a lot for the school, police department, and you can't leave out, Mayor White, you can't leave out the fire department, because I'll get 10 guys tomorrow
Sorry about that.
knocking on my door. We do help the fire department, and we try and do the best that we can for the village. So I know there's something later on in the agenda that we're going to talk about, so
Yes, thank you.
we'll wait for that. But on behalf of my family, thank you for having the meeting here. You know, it's another 100 years, hopefully.
It's a beautiful building, it's a stately building, we're so happy. I'm especially really thrilled to be here because my great-grandfather, who sat on this village board, actually was in this building. He was on this village board in 1914 till the early 20s. So it's kind of neat for me to know that he was actually in this building conducting a board meeting just like I am tonight. So it's a special night for me as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
I just add that Mayor White provided us with actually a village bulletin from 1977, and we just reproduced the front cover, and it's got a very nice picture of what Village Hall looked like back in the day when it was still Village Hall. And there are people here that's on the table just outside the door, so grab one when you go out, and you can see what the Village Hall really did look like.
Thank you. Well, getting on to village business, we have no public hearings tonight, and our first order of business is going to be the adoption of our minutes. So we have the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 19th, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Do we have any correspondences for the board tonight?
No correspondence.
Thank you. We have two appointments tonight. We have first the appointment of Mickey Brand to serve as a member of the library board, and she is filling the unexpired term of Angela Carabella, and this term will expire on April 1, 2015. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
I would just note that Mickey Brand has been very active with the Friends of the Library over the years, and so it seems an appropriate appointment for her to be on the library board itself.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. We also have the reappointment of Norman Haynes as our EVAC director for a period to expire on April 1, 2012. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. This brings us to the first opportunity to address the board on any agenda items. Would anybody like to address the board tonight? Then that's going to bring us to our first resolution of the evening. Resolution number 1 is to amend and approve a change in the village fee schedule effective as of September 1, 2011 as follows. Planning board applications, commercial property applications for 5,000 square feet or less, the fee will be $500. Commercial property applications greater than 5,000 square feet, the fee will remain at $1,500. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. This issue was brought to us within the last month, and it was brought to our attention by a couple of new businesses that we have coming here in the village. So the current rate has been $1,500 for commercial submissions to go to our planning board. And after it was brought to our attention, we talked about this briefly, and we all agreed that it's actually a little excessive for some of the smaller businesses on Main Street to absorb a fee when they have a very small shop and they just need to come to the planning board for a minor approval. So we feel this is appropriate, and we also feel that this is in the spirit of trying to help our small business base here in the village. So when we get involved in our budget process, we'll be analyzing this as well as some of the other fees we have in our budget as well. Do I have,
Trustee
I'm
Giordano.
sorry.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Next resolution is to approve the Community Fund of Bronxville, Eastchester, and Tuckahoe's request to place a thermometer sign on the fence at the Main Street Park from mid-November 2011 to early March 2012. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 3 is resolving that according to section 15-104, subsection 3A of the New York State election law, there shall be nominated 2 nominees for the office of trustee, said office to be held for a term of 2 years, beginning April 1, 2012, and be it further resolved that elections for such office shall be held on the 20th day of March 2012 in the 7 election districts within the village of Tuckahoe. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 4 is ratifying village board approval to allow the Westchester Italian Cultural Center to hang a banner from October 13 to November 13, announcing the opening of the Italian Builders, Artisans, and Trades exhibit. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 5 is to accept a grant from the Generoso Pope Foundation in the amount of $60,000 to fund the establishment of a Tuckahoe Police motorcycle unit to include the purchasing of 2 motorcycles. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Discussion, I'd actually like to ask Mr. Pope if he wanted to come up and just talk a little bit about this, and I personally want to thank you very, very much for this contribution. As Mayor White had said, we know that you're very generous to our police department, and this is another example of that.
Yeah, there was actually, Mayor White gave me a picture a long time ago, long time ago, of Village Hall and the police department, and it had all the police officers lined up, and it had a motorcycle there. And it was kind of interesting because, you know, my son was pointing out different things, and he likes motorcycles, and he said, that was a police motorcycle. And then discussions went on, and then I talked with the police chief, and I talked with the mayor, and I said, wouldn't it be nice to bring back the motorcycle unit to Tuckahoe? And, you know, Mayor, you were all for it with one condition. And that one condition was that those motorcycles had to be American made. So we didn't have a problem with that, and we're going forward with the Harley Davidson. So I think it'll be a great addition to the police department. There's many things that, you know, maybe Bellis can talk about as far as response times, gas, you know, there's probably a whole host of things. But on behalf of my family's foundation, you know, this is just what we do. We like giving back to the village and the police department and fire and, you know, anything that we can do. So I think it's going to be a really nice addition to the village.
We really appreciate it. Any tools that you can give our police department is well needed. It helps us to not burden the taxpayers with some of these expenses. So it's very kind of you, very generous. We want to thank you.
No, my pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Bellis would like to say something as well.
Go too far. I have a couple of things for you tonight. I'm here on behalf of the chief, who could not be with us tonight because he's out of state. But I'd like to graciously accept this generous grant for the establishment of the Tuckahoe Police Department's motorcycle unit. A special thank you to Sergeant David Bank for all of his hard work researching this project and putting all the fine details together. As we all know, Tuckahoe is very rich in history, and you will see a great example of this in a moment. Motorcycles were used for patrol purposes by this department in its early history. The department is returning to its roots and this means of patrol after about 60 years. The TPD motorcycle unit will consist of approximately 3 officers and 1 supervisor. All will receive specialized training, and there will be a comprehensive selection process for the unit. The primary purpose of the unit will be for patrol, with special emphasis on the enforcement of the vehicle and traffic laws of New York State. Additionally, they will be used for escorts, parades, and for ceremonies. Motorcycles offer the advantage of greater maneuverability in congested traffic. They are more fuel efficient, and they operate at 1/3 the cost of the maintenance of patrol cars. The use of the motorcycles will reduce the wear and tear on the patrol car fleet, and it is a fiscally responsible option. Now, hold on. Brought this picture up, and I'm going to present this to you tonight. We'll talk a little bit about it, but I just wanted to show you. I know this looks familiar to you, but this is this building, and that is our patrol force with the motorcycle. And this is 1930, and this is actually the picture in the frame, so don't get some splinters here, but I brought it right from the police department. So on behalf of Chief Costanzo and our department, the Village of Tuckahoe, I'd like to present this to you, Mr. David Pope and the Pope Foundation, a very rich piece of our history. This photograph once hung on the walls of what is now your building. It once was home to the village and to the Tuckahoe Police Department. This photo was taken in 1930, and the officers, along with their motorcycle, stand proudly in front of what is now the Generoso Pope Foundation. With the implementation of our new motor unit, we see a unique piece of history come full circle. We cannot wait till one day soon See this photo of our new TPD motor unit hang proudly beside those who served before us. We are so grateful for your generosity and for once again catapulting this department and this village to the front of the line. We are truly partners, and we thank you for helping us to make this village the greatest place to live. Chief Costanzo left something for me to give you tonight, and this gift is representative of everything that our department and our men and women stand for. This honor coin was created for the members of our department and given to them and the members of the village board. Tonight, on behalf of our chief, I would like for you to accept this coin in recognition of the partnership and friendship that you have built and will always have with the Tuckahoe Police Department.
That was very nice and very well said, too. Thank you.
And all true.
It's pretty neat that that's coming back to the old village hall. I like
It
it.
hung here,
Yes,
and that's what I
that's
thought was so significant.
very, very good.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. This brings us to the next resolution, which is resolution number 6, authorizing the advertisement to request proposals for the purchase of 2 Harley-Davidson motorcycles for our police department. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Moving on, resolution number 7 is accepting a donation of $100 from Chianti Restaurant and a $200 donation from the Quarry for a road race event of September 11th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 8 is approving payment of vouchers in the amount of $412,551, consisting of abstract number 18 for $277,719, abstract number 19 for $3,015, abstract number 20 for $62,670, abstract number 21 for $66,282, and abstract number 22 for $2,863. The 3 largest invoices paid were, the largest one was for $108,832 for employee health insurance premiums for the month of October. The second largest was $25,478 for fire hydrant rental for the period of June 1 through September 1, 2011. And $23,800 for professional fees to the village's external auditors for the audit of fiscal year ending May 31, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 9 is approving a tax certiorari settlement in the amount of $99,199 for the 2004 through 2011 tax years for the Tuckahoe Developers, Inc., Section 33, Block 9, Lots 1A, 10, and 11, which is also known as 8 Depot Square, 62 Main Street, and 64-66 Main Street, respectively. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor.
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor.
Trustee Hayes. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 11 is to engage the services of Dolph Engineering for a fee of $1,995 to conduct test and sample stormwater discharge from the DPW yard into the stormwater system. This test is required annually as part of the New York State MS4 application. The sampling and testing is required annually. It needs to be performed in accordance to specific standards that would identify if any pollutants are present. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
I'm sorry, in favor?
Trustee Mays. In favor. Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Mayor Eklund.
In favor, and I apologize, I skipped over a resolution, which is number 10, approving the tax certiorari settlement in the amount of $26,189 for the 2002 through 2010 tax years for Westview Equities, Inc., Section 32, Block 2, Lot 3, also known as 34-36 Westview Ave. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. Abstain. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 12 is to engage the services of Dragon Rescue Management, Inc. for a fee of $1,700 to conduct training for the DPW personnel on safe and proper confined space entry on November 3rd, 2011. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Just a little discussion. This is very, very important, and I don't know if anybody saw the news today, but just today, there was a confined space rescue at a school up in Somers. So we all are aware of, there was an issue a year or so ago in another public works department where they had some, they had a catastrophic accident in a confined space rescue situation. So I'm real happy that our crew is getting this training. So.
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. Resolution number 13 is designating proceeds from the Tuckahoe Challenge Road Race, which was held on September 11th of this year, to the following organizations. $1,000 is going to the Tuckahoe Beautification Committee, $1,000 is going to our Tuckahoe seniors, and $500 is going to ECAP, and $500 is going to EVAC. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Trustee Giordano.
In favor?
Trustee Quigley.
In favor.
Trustee Luisi.
In favor?
Trustee Hayes. In favor. Mayor Eklund.
In favor. And this brings us to department reports to the board, and I'm going to ask Lieutenant Ellis if she has anything she wants to.
It's a very short report, but I just want to remind parents, I mean, we're always cognizant of telling our young children about Halloween safety, and we do a pretty good job of getting into the schools and talking to all of the grade levels about safety. However, we tend to forget our teens and our older people. I just would like to remind parents that maybe host an event this year. Maybe welcome children over to your home and supervise a party rather than sending the kids out in hordes, because it's not so much your children that may engage in criminal activity, but they become a target. And we've been very lucky. We're out in full force every year, and we do the best that we can to keep our community safe. But I would ask parents to just partner with us and help us to do our job a bit better by monitoring where your children are going and just helping them to be less of a target. And again, just remind them about safety and again, throwing eggs in the shaving cream, where many times people think it's funny, but if it's your car that's getting egged or the paint chipped, it really rises to a different level. So again, we want everybody to enjoy Halloween, but I would just remind people to have a conversation with your young people. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Frank DeMarco, or Superintendent of Public Works.
Boy, this is different. Mayor, board members. I just want to say that, in observance of Veterans Day, we're going to be closed November 11th, and this is the DPW office, and we'll also be closed on Thanksgiving the 24th, but we will be open the 25th to serve the residents. Also, just to let everybody know that metal pickup is not going to be done in November. It will start again in December. And my leaf spiel. Oh, I gotta do this again every year. Leaves. Put the leaves by the curb. Don't throw your rocks in there. Don't throw your branches in there. And most importantly, when you drive your car's, you kind of let it convert. It's very hot and warm. We don't want any fire starting. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
Susan, do you have anything you want to add tonight?
Not tonight.
John? Okay. Under miscellaneous business, I just want to mention that our next monthly village board meeting is going to be on Monday, November 14th. And we are going to have a community meeting, which is, we're calling it a Take a Ride on the Trolley meeting. This is going to be held on Wednesday, November 4th. And we're going to assemble at Village Hall, and we do have limited seating. Frank, is it 24 people?
I think it's 28.
28 people can fit on the trolley, so the first 28 people who show up are going to be able to take a ride on the trolley. We're actually going to drive around the village, and anybody who wants to maybe have us drive by their house to point out a lousy tree or a sidewalk or something like that, it's going to be a rolling meeting, so it should be interesting. We're looking forward to it. That's going to be, as I said, on Wednesday, November 4th. It starts at 7 o'clock over at Village Hall. And I just want to note, I noticed last night, I watched Channel 2 News at 11 o'clock, and I noticed it in their advertisement now, their commercial advertisement, they actually have the Tuckahoe Trolley, which I thought that was pretty neat. I saw that on TV last night. So that'll probably run for a while, so that's pretty cool. Village offices and the DPW are going to be closed on Friday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day, and also on Thursday, November 24th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. Village offices only will be closed on Friday, November 25th. And that brings us to our trustee member reports, and trustee Giordano.
Just a couple of announcements. First of all, we were advised that AAA has awarded our community with the Gold Award in Traffic Safety Awards program, which honors the village for its commitment to traffic safety. There's going to be a luncheon held on tomorrow, October 25th, at which our village will be recognized, and at which Mayor Eklund will be there to accept the presentation. From the zoning and planning boards, regrettably, there are no, the agendas for the upcoming meetings have not been published yet. They should be available on the website. I checked today, they were not available. If you can't get them on the website, if you shoot me an email, I'd be happy to forward them to you once they do become available. Still some important items in front of them, and I hope that the community, to the extent that it is interested in those applications, attends and voices their opinions. Finally, last but not least, I'd like to thank David and his family and the Pope Foundation for their gracious hospitality this evening. It's a real treat to be in this building. I think that it also is full of significance in many ways. It brings us, as Mayor Eklund said, back from our past to what's been restored to be a real glorious present, and it offers, I think this building offers a real reflection, a beacon to our community as to where it was and where it's going, and it also reflects those civic and cultural offerings that you've been bringing to our community since you've been here. I think that these are invaluable to us, and we are very grateful. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Quicken?
A couple things. The Eastchester Tuckahoe Chamber of Commerce is very active in the community in supporting and boosting local businesses. Last Wednesday, they sponsored a candidates night at Mickey Spillane's and invited the candidates for the Westchester County Board of Legislature for the 10th District, as well as the candidates for the Eastchester Town Council positions to discuss their views with the Chamber. So they're very involved in that. They're also very involved, and we're glad to announce that there are going to be 3 ribbon cuttings coming up, sponsored through the Chamber of Commerce. That'll be all on this upcoming Thursday. T-Mobile of Tuckahoe is opening at 93 Lake Avenue. The Growler's Beer Bistro at 25 Main Street, right next to the tracks. And Pause and Play for pet care at 72 Marbledale Road. So I know our mayor and hopefully some of the trustees will be out there on Thursday afternoon welcoming these new businesses into the community. The library has got a lot of activities. I'm not going to go through all of them, just give a quick highlight of what some of the things coming up that I think might be of interest. We've been chosen, the Tuckahoe Library, to help work with literacy volunteers, and they're looking for volunteers to help people who don't speak English to learn the language. And there's workshops that will be conducted throughout 4 Wednesday afternoons in November. These are looking for volunteers who can commit a little bit of time to help some of their neighbors get up to par with the English language. This information, of course, can be gotten at the library itself. You can go to the website to find that information. Of course, there'll be Halloween parties for the little kids at the library on Thursday, October 27th, 11 o'clock for the real young kids 2 and under, and Friday, October 28th at 10:30 and 11:15 for the 2 to 5-year-old group. Costumes, of course, are encouraged. On November 9th, Dawn Donato, who's a certified financial planner, will be talking about long-term care and your financial interests at the library. That's November 9th, 2011 at 2 p.m. The library also has a couple of fundraisers. They're selling shawls, which can be purchased from the library. They'll be helping support the library. They are participating in the Lord and Taylor nonprofit night, where you buy a $5 coupon from the library, and you take it with you. You get a 20% and a 15% discount on most everything at Lord and Taylor store that you can use the coupon for. So you're doing some good work for the Tuckahoe Library. You're helping support a local business, and you're saving some money as well. So lots of good things going on there. Their calendars are posted on the website, tuckahoelibrary.org. It's very crowded. I won't go through everything tonight, but you can see that it's been a very active library for people all ages, from literally 0 up to the seniors. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Trustee Luisi?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to reinforce what Mayor White said earlier. I graduated high school when you first became mayor, so my seniority comes before me, I guess. But on a more serious note, once again, the Tuckahoe Senior Center is actively looking to recruit new members, and I'd like to particularly reach out to the children of seniors in the community. The community center is a wonderful opportunity for your parents and/or senior citizens to get together on every Thursday and Tuesday. There's Tai Chi classes. There are programs involving basket making and flower arrangements. They have bingo. It's just a wonderful experience. You can get together for a few hours every day with members of the community, spend some time, and not be at home. Along those lines, on November 1st at the Tuckahoe Community Center, and this is very important. This is not only for the seniors, but for everyone in our community. November 1st from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m., thanks to the generosity of the Community Fund of Bronxville, Eastchester, and Tuckahoe, in partnership with Lawrence Hospital, will be administering free flu shots, and no appointments are necessary. The Senior Citizens Council is also holding a parking space raffle. The winner of the raffle will be able to choose an available space in one of the 6 communal lots in Tuckahoe. The tickets are available at the Community Center as well as at Village Hall. If you win the raffle, the space is good for 1 year. The drawing will be held at 8 p.m. at the Tuckahoe Trustees meeting on December 12th. And again, with the seniors, they will be attending a presentation of My Fair Lady at the Westchester Dinner Theater on Thursday, November 17th. Tickets are $55 and it's limited to 30 people. Moving along to DPW, Frank stole some of my thunder. I'll just reiterate what Frank said: place the leaves curbside, place them in a paper bag or an open container every Thursday.
You could do that also. You could also leave it at curbside.
And the bags, if you don't have those big paper bags, they're available at DPW for the low price of 50 cents. And just a follow-up of last month's meeting when we discussed the flooding issues. Mr. DeMarco has been in contact with the county and FEMA, and things are moving. And we will not forget that. And lastly, I would just like to reiterate what Trustee Quigley alluded to. And I've just noticed this in listening to the zoning and planning board meetings over the last few months. There seems to be concern about businesses in the village. And right in front of me, I have 7 new businesses that have opened up in this village. And I just think it's wonderful that this is happening in the village, that business people want to come here and open up businesses. As Trustee Quigley mentioned, Puppy Paws is opening up this week, I believe. And there's a new restaurant that will be opening up on Main Street, Bistro Latino, where the old Main Street Cafe used to be. So Tuckahoe is experiencing economic growth despite the climate of the countries, and I'm happy to announce that to everyone. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And Trustee Hayes?
Thank you. I have just a few announcements this evening. Our next environmental committee will be meeting on Wednesday, November 9th at 7:30 p.m. And also our tree committee will be meeting the following week on Wednesday, November 16th at 7:30 p.m., both taking place at Village Hall. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about our Tuckahoe Beautification Committee. This group actually dates back to the 1970s, I was told, when actually Alice White first started up the group. And at that time, it was active for quite a few years, but then became dormant for a little bit. But then again, in the early 1990s, the Beautification Committee was revitalized by one of our former village trustees back in the 1990s, Sheila Clark, who at that time organized a group of volunteers in our community with the main focus of improving the aesthetics of our village. I just also wanted to mention that Susan, our village clerk, has been extremely involved and dedicated to this committee throughout all of the years it's been in existence, going back right to the 70s, going into the 90s again when it was revitalized. And now we are coming upon our actual 20th anniversary of beautification in 2012. And there are numerous projects that the committee works on throughout the year after year, which includes during the spring the purchasing of the beautiful geraniums, flower baskets that hang throughout the village that DPW helps put up for us. And also they're very much involved in our annual Crestwood Street Fair. And then in the fall, they work on purchasing and planting of the mums and cabbage that can be seen at both of our train stations and also in front of many of the various storefronts in our village. And then as the holiday season approaches, beautification also, and it's right around the corner, purchases wreaths that hang on the lampposts, the red bows, and holiday lights that wrap around the many village large pine trees. So now it's that time of year again that this group works on our annual fundraising events. And this year, of course, is a special one and has special meaning because they're celebrating the 20th anniversary and has a raffle in progress. Only 500 raffle tickets will be sold. And there are 3 cash prizes, which will be raffled off at our Village Winterfest celebration on Sunday, December 4th. And anyone can purchase a ticket for $20, or they can purchase 3 for $50. And they can contact either myself or the village clerk's office for further details. And it really is a wonderful committee, and we welcome our residents to become involved if they would like to get involved with beautification. Next, I just wanted to mention that I have, again, started to work on our next edition of our village-wide newsletter. And if anyone would like to get involved in the creation of it, or if you have a topic of interest you would like to be mentioned, please feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to work with you, and I would welcome the help. And I think the timing of this one will be distributed probably the end of November or early December. And finally, I just wanted to make an announcement regarding our surveys that we've had up on our village website. Our mayor and I and our village clerk have been collecting them as they've come in, either paper copy or through the website. And we just wanted to give another mention that we are still eliciting feedback from all of our residents. And we are thinking that probably after our next November board meeting, that the mayor and I and Susan will start to tally up all the feedback and data that we've received and work on presenting all that information at a future board meeting, probably over the winter months, I was thinking. That would give us enough time to work through everything. And I again also just wanted to thank David and your family and the Pope Foundation for opening your hearts and doors to us this evening and allowing us to hold our meeting here and celebrate the 100th year. And that's what I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll be very brief tonight, but the first item on my agenda is to talk about Yonkers Avenue. And I think that we have somebody here who can talk about it much better than I can. So I'm going to ask Karen Ashton, she's from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, to come on up and give us an update. Karen was here last month to talk about the project, and she has some pretty good news, I think, to update us on today.
I think so, at least I hope so. Good evening. Purpose here is to just kind of give you an update from last month, and I will continue every month to provide updates until we are through construction, so everybody is aware of the timing. Since last we met, we were talking about negotiations. We had finalized those negotiations for the unseen site conditions of the additional pipe pile length, and the materials have been ordered. The latest is 4 to 6 weeks for delivery on the steel. I'm going to caveat that with it is coming from Missouri. It's being fabricated in Missouri, and the only thing that would affect that delivery date is weather. I was assuming that they would do coating on the inside, but apparently weather is a factor when they do the coating on the outside. And it's if there's rain or if there's snow or below 55 degrees, they cannot coat that day. So barring any weather issues, we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks where the construction contractor will mobilize the site approximately 1 week beforehand to prepare the site. No change in the duration of the project. We're still looking at 4 months project duration, maybe a little bit less if things go well, because the contractor is very motivated to finish this up here. I've had just as a side note, I've had a couple of questions from some citizens. Please don't hesitate to forward any questions that you may have on this project to me or in coordination with me, any way to get the word out of how this project is moving along. So Mayor Eklund or Frank Marco has my contact information, or on the internet is our project fact sheet that you can always contact me there. You're welcome anytime.
So what is the projected completion date, give or take?
Barring weather. So let's say 4 to 6 weeks for delivery plus 4 months, so 5, let's say 6 months from today, complete. Where you'd be able to then, the village be able to go in and repave the road. There may be some additional work going on at the downstream end where the private parking lot is, but the road wouldn't need to be closed for that. That work can be ongoing or simultaneous to the main base part of the construction. That is still in negotiation, but that does not stop the start date or does not push off the start date in any way, shape, or form.
So optimistically, April, May.
Optimistically, yes.
Good, thank you.
So again, I'll be here every month to provide every update.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. Over the last month, I've had 2 residents from the who live in the Tuckahoe Housing Authority building who asked why the monthly meetings are not televised. So I inquired about that, and there's really no particular reason. So I'll talk to the just to let those residents know. I will talk to the director, and we may maybe every other month go ahead and videotape those meetings. I know there's a conflict that those meetings are on the same night as some of other village business, but we'll see if we can maybe every other month or every 3rd month, but we'll try to get our video cameras back into the Tuckahoe Housing Authority. And I just want to remind everybody that Tuesday, November 8th is Election Day, so please get out and vote. And one final item I want to talk about, this is quite remarkable. Arnold and Carmela Mazzoni, they're longtime Tuckahoe residents, and they just celebrated their 75th wedding anniversary, which is pretty amazing. So we prepared a certificate of recognition, which we're going to send in, and I certainly want to congratulate them and wish them 75 more. That's remarkable. So we wish you all the best, and I think that's fantastic. So I also want to thank David Pope. This has been a special night for us, and we're really happy that we can partner with your organization where we can on all the wonderful things that you do for the village. And it's just so great to be in this building. And it's funny, as I sit here and I look through this room, you know, this was a very difficult room to construct. When I look at the contour of the walls, I mean, your construction here was quite significant. So it was a challenge for you. I know it took a while to go ahead and restore this building, but your grandfather would be very proud of what you've done here. So I just want to again thank you for all you've done for us here in the village and for letting us, for hosting us tonight. And with that said, this is a second opportunity to address the board. Yes, Mayor.
Just a reminder, next month's meeting of the Westchester Municipal Officials will be in Bronxville. And Mary Marvin, as you know, is an officer in the organization. And it's an organization that fights for us. So I think it's important to get involved. Next year also will be the 75th anniversary of the Westchester Municipal Officials. And we're very proud of it. That began right here in this building.
That's exactly, you're right, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So we're going to try to make sure that we're all in attendance at that meeting. Mary Marvin is going to be the host. Anybody who couldn't hear that, the Westchester Municipal Officials Association is going to have their meeting next month in Bronxville. And what was the date of that again?
It's usually the second Thursday.
Second Thursday of the month. So we're going to try to be there. I know we adjusted our work session. So we could be there that evening, so we're looking forward to it. And yes, it's significant also that it was held, the first one was held in this building here, so thank you for that. Anybody else want to address our board tonight? If not, with that said, I'll make a motion that we adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Till next time, have a good night.